Hello and welcome back to Kino-Plays, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. This is the same stream as last time, and just off stream we quickly presented a bunch of stuff to him just to see if he'd react to anything, and he only reacts to two things. The switchblade and the note, so anything involving SL9. Well, anything directly... That's a strange thing. He reacted to the knife... He reacts to the knife and the note. He didn't react to this, though, even though this has got an SL9 tag. So it's going to be interesting to see what he actually had to say, because we skipped through it just so we didn't actually get anything spoiled. We just wanted to make sure we wouldn't be sat here for a few minutes presenting a ton of evidence that he doesn't react to, so... I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It's all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident? And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Ah, so when we quickly showed them to him, it wasn't to get him to say anything about them. It was just to open up a new line of talk. Okay. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the Deputy Chief of Police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then. And his name is awfully close to Demon. Surely that's not foreshadowing whatsoever. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is, why was a Deputy Chief of Police on the investigation? That's actually a good question, yeah. In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than usual. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid. Well then, you might have use for this. Yes! Fingerprinting! Aluminium powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Oh, wait. He's a dumbass. Never mind. He is dummy thick. I know that means something else, but still. Fingerprinting set and fingerprint file received. Yeah, Gumshoe's locker and the bloody handprint that you can't see with your eyes, and the handprint on the blue badger, and the possible prints that are on that knife that we can see, Termo. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Yeah, I want to use them in other ways first. How do I do this then? Let's see. Press here, can't do fingerprints that way. I have to interact with them first. Pardon me? That's odd. There's nothing to examine. Everything else has had at least one thing, even if it's been completely useless. Weird. Okay, well, on examine... Okay, looks like I'll have to get the story to give me permission to start using fingerprints first. Well, yeah, the locker in anything that just appears as a single picture doesn't let you investigate anything. But anything that's been 3D has let me examine things so far. Yeah, still can't check that handprint there. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here! In this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Why is there an extra thumbprint, though? That's interesting. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. Well, that'd be the thumb. Well, no, because that's on its side. I guess the... Is it your index finger, the first one? I can never remember the order of the fingers. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Seriously, Phoenix? Well, the thumb is by far the clearest, but it's clearly on its side, so you won't get a clear fingerprint from that, only a partial. Whereas the very next print there, that finger, is almost a complete finger. Use that one, dumbass. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Bitch! Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Okay, I'm starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminium powder around. Huh? How'd you do that? With the A button, see? Ah, looks like that did the trick. The aluminium powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Eh? How do I do that? I haven't got a microphone to blow into. Ah, Y button. Okay. Because that was quite a fun mechanic back on the DS. You're just tapping around with your stylus to drop the stuff, and then you blow into the mic to clear it. At least I think you had to blow into the mic. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, see? Wow, that looks like fun. Might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I better give it a try. It always takes practice to get good at your fingering. Ah, you did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Yes, not a first timer indeed. Welcome Yeah, mellow? Sorry, I'm not sure how to say that. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Yeah, because the person was probably wearing gloves at the time. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means... We're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Shit. Don't tell me we're wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? You mean like the invisible handprint that was done in blood and then wiped off? Yeah, that might be a good idea. Looking at the locker door again closely. There's an extra one right there. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood? Gee, I wonder which. Not with any certainty, but I have my suspicions that it's the chief of police. But there's also the strong suspicions of it being Angel or the cowboy. We'll see. Now that is a clear fingerprint. But apparently not clear enough, otherwise it should have said it was done. At least I assume it would automatically finish once it's done. Yeah, there we go. That was weird, it doesn't look any more clear than last time. Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling! Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? Yeah, I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth. And point out the person you think let these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Oh no, I'm a kobold now, apparently. Hey, Demi. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what, Luke? I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Okay, right, I will do that, but I have my own personal thing to check first, if it'll allow me. Son of a bitch. No, it won't allow me. God damn it. I want to check this handprint. I'm so sus of it. Also, I want to check the fingerprints on the phone, because even though we're almost certain that it's Lana's, still want to know for absolutely certain. I still haven't seen season 1 of Death, Love and Robots. I really should watch that at some point. I've just started watching Yosuke. Now, do I... Yeah. Right, how do I use this, then? From here? Oh, I just have to click it where it was. Okay. This is where we got luminol fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, want to try using this? There go our eyes sparkling again. Alright, check it for prints. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit! Oh! But I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means, yeah. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh. Right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Okay, well, in theory, there should be a thumbprint on here, maybe. But it's not letting me press it, so... The hell? Where am I supposed to press it, then? I'm pressing A and it's not doing anything. Or am I just supposed to back out? Oh! Okay. So I was just supposed to tap around wildly until I happen to find something. That's helpful. They should have made it so I could just press A and hold it down instead of having to tap it a load. Ooh, that's not a very good one. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Oh! Right! So I just hit that finger, that's why. So the thumb should be around here somewhere. Oh, yeah, this time... No, that's the same one. Oops. No, actually, that might be the thumb there, so it might be the left hand. Aha! Found it! How complete does it need to be? There we go. No. Well, it's definitely not his. Oh! Hello, Marshall. What have you been up to? Hey, these fingerprints, Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Okay. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh! So, we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? Looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. Well, we don't know how old that bloody handprint is, though. He could have... I mean... Oh, son of a bitch! That's a red herring. At least, I think that's a red herring. I think that... Remember when we found the quite a bit of blood on top of the cactus, Tomo? I think Marshall buggered up and splatted his hand down on the cactus. And there is his handprint. I think it has nothing at all to do with the murder. Yeah, red kobolds are cool too. God, your obsession with kobolds, Demi. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologise for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lorna, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. How about giving us an explanation for why you said that you had stabbed Goodman? Is the music cutting out? How is it for you, Toma? I haven't... It's alright on my end. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lorna Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Not at all like you, Phoenix. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Well, yes, Phoenix, it is. It's called confidence. It is quite admirable to be confident, yes. Fake it till you make it, bitch. Though, if you really don't know about something, ask people. It's good to ask people for help. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy, things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. The fuck? What? So, you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Actually... Sir, I'm what you call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm. Oh boy. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So, the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you. Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yeah, agreed. Term of freaking millennial Meekins. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Smack my bitch up. Very well. The defence may begin its cross-examination. I need here is more info to work with. In other words, press the shit out of this. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. The fuck? That is way too important a job to give this little chode-wad. What the fuck? Yikes! Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badgers, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I That was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. Oh shit, I didn't... Oh fuck, I didn't press that bit. Oh well. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So, try to remember for me, Tommy, that it was the rushed into the evidence room part where I was supposed to have pressed and didn't if we end up looping around. So, you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You weren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. And what a big, deep gash it is indeed. And for those confused why I'm laughing, gash means something entirely different in the UK. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him round and performed a disarming manoeuvre. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. What? I see. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, this white coat was drenched in a sea of me blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. Well, he is a big target. You didn't actually stab Goodman, did you? You fucking useless turd. You stabbed the Blue Badger. This is why you keep your eyes open when you try to do things. Yeah, the blood on the coat is probably his blood, and nobody else's. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offence, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. Except that doesn't match the testimony he was telling us when he was in detention. He said he passed out in the evidence room and didn't wake up until he was here in the detention centre, even though that contradicted the timeline we already know of him at some point after the murder going to Edgeworth's room and encountering us and Edgeworth. Somewhere someone screwed up in the writing. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. Not that he clipped you upside the head like I really, really want to. When I came round, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the blue badges, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Oh, we can all rest easy now. Not necessarily, Phoenix. Because that clearly means that the blue badger was in the evidence room during the attack. Which means that handprint on it, that might be important. And there might be stuff on the back of the badger too. Think things through. This is what he was telling us yesterday. Well, we need to try and skim more details from him. For starters, what was an officer from the General Affairs Department doing in there in the first place? Right, let's press him for all he's worth. That's what it seems to be, Tomo. It does seem that Lana was wearing Goodman's coat, and that was bloody because of Meekins. Right, we already did that one. I think this is the one I missed. Rushed into the room. Yeah, that fits. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's me number, sir. I see. Huh. But that number is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the blue badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay, so that's tidied that bit up, if he's telling the truth. But there's still one number we don't have yet. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honour. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to me jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The Chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. Yes, sus as shit, Tomo. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh! Please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. But you said your fucking profession was murderer. That didn't scare you. Consistency. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Okay, so the handprint's already on its face at 5:14. That's some really stilted CGI movement for the human. Now that's weird. That's not exactly rushing in. Okay, if anything, you would think that Meekins was the one getting murdered there. Yeah, oh, that too, Tomo. It's very convenient that the flag just happened to stall and be blocking his face for a bit there. Huh, looks like he broke its arm on the way out as well. Oh crap, I didn't pay attention to something I should have been paying attention to there. Was that piece of white cloth there at the start of that video? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badges, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yay! Okay, I need to recheck that video. Please let me fast forward it. Okay, no. Right there, right at the start, the locker on the far left, the piece of cloth isn't sticking out. That's his coat. His bloody coat is in that locker. Yeah, I didn't even notice that note that fell down there, Tomo, that you pointed out. I just noticed that at the end of this video, the cloth is there in that door. Oh, that was the glove. Okay. It looked like a note to me. Good call. Yes, there is an extreme lack of kobolds, but this is creepy enough for all of us. So disturbing. I hate its movements in all possible ways. And there it is. That is very important. We need in that locker. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity. Your Honour, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, well, incompetent's pretty accurate too, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Well, at no point during that did we see you stabbing Goodman. If anything, it looked like he stabbed you twice. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Depends on the quality of your scanners, really. It's entirely possible that he was wearing gloves which had Goodman's fingerprints on them. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker. equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. God damn it, Demi. Yes, it's not Goodman at all. It's 3 kobolds in a trench coat. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with the knife? Sir, if you must label people as having been seen or not seen, the man's face, I believe it would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a great trait for a cop. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet me badge on it. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having been seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Eh? Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please, be more careful, more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you were positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. About these lockers, is there no way to open them? No other way, I mean? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, that only responds to its registered fingerprints. Then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. No, dude, there is no possible way that there isn't a second method to open them. I mean, what if he had an encounter with some acid or something and he no longer had fingerprints and he needed to get in there? You need a... No. What if he quit? What if he got murdered? What if someone cut his hands off? There has to be another way in. There must be a master key of some sort. Or... Oh, motherfucker. Do you think, Tomo and Demi, that it is possible that the Chief of Police has a master fingerprint in all of the safes? That he can open any safe he wants? It would make sense. The other alternative would be, what if that locker belonged to someone in the past and they don't actually delete the past fingerprints? They just add the new ones on top, meaning that someone who used to have that locker could access it. Logically, it would have to be one of these two answers, but I'm sure there must be another way in as well. Like I said, you could maybe get his fingerprints on a glove and use the glove. I mean, they do it in films and TV, but I don't know how real that is. I mean, it seems too convenient to be anything other than a creation of Hollywood, but I don't know. Exactly my point, sir, and this too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Yeah, CSI going enhanced picture. Something that does not exist. How do you know that information? I've heard rumours, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to me romantic troubles, sir. Oh, he is definitely one of her boyfriends. Yet more sus in the angel pile. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So, the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defence can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Yeah, there's a problem. You can't see his face. Someone could have found some way to impersonate him. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction. Interesting. Your Honour, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defence point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. Yeah, he would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further investigate this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I had to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? I don't think the glove, Tomo, because the glove fell out of the locker. That's the SL9 evidence glove that we found on top. Now the sus thing there though is that the glove was on top of police tape, not on the floor. That's weird. Huh. Where is the contradiction that indicates it? What? Stop! Why did you skip straight to the video there? I think, though, fast forward to the end and it'll be that piece of cloth that I should point out. If I'm wrong, then I'll rewatch very carefully. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. Oh, yeah. Phew, I almost walked right into the defence's trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir. Rats, I need to slow down and tackle these things one piece at a time. Now, what do I do? Very well, let's try this again. Just remember one thing, Mr. Wright. Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt. Says the one pointing his finger at us. Yep, skip ahead. It's all the same things as before. Right. Okay, that was the wrong button anyway. Yeah, the glove falls straight out of the locker, so that's no help. Okay, so I can go frame by frame, that's helpful. How far... Oh, that could... Yeah, that could be a good catch there, too. Let's see if it's if the locker's already lit before he goes to it. Oh, good catch, Tomo! I wasn't even thinking about that light. Officer Meekins. Sir? Do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Yeah, that locker is already unlocked. Meaning anyone could open it. Ah! And that's why the glove falls out of it, Tomo. Because it wedged the glove in to keep it from locking. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker... Let's rewind to a little earlier. Oh, rewind it faster, you dick. There's no reason to pad this out. You could have done this with stills. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Yes, it's definitely lit. Precisely my point, Your Honour. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Order. What is the meaning of this? Indeed, what is the meaning of this, ladies and gentlemen? But we'll find that out after the break. Next time on Kino-Plays, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. New episodes are uploaded daily to the YouTube channel, 9 PM UK time. Thank you for joining me, take care, and goodbye.